right here with the infamous CZR people riding down. Where we at, Caesar?
This is Cermak.
Are we on Cermak?
This is Cermak. In the suburbs, it's known as 20 Seconds.
Okay.
This is actually my block that I used to live on.
Is it?
Yeah.
Which house?
Which is this code. It's coming up right here. Well, I can tell you this, that I used to sneak out of that window over here on the side. It was like,
where the gangway is?
The gangway, yeah. For the late night parties and whatnot.
You ever come back and it was locked?
Yeah. So gotta cleanse the. Actually, in front of that house, unfortunately, actually, my brother got shot in front of that house because all the gang activity that's going on here.
Wow.
Good thing is that he's still with us. Like days later, there was actually a fire right here with some other 2 kids died, which is kind of a bad thing for the neighborhood. You know, my brother getting shot and his other family passing away as well through the fire. Downstairs from where I used to live, right here, this is where I first got my glimpse at the Technique 1200s, because the guy downstairs used to let me just come downstairs. You know, he took a liking to me, and he would let me come down and just play music. And while he was with some girls in the back and doing his thing, smoking and whatnot, that smell actually was very familiar to me. Not all it was growing up. I didn't realize what that was until like later. Right. When he's getting lit up and stuff, and it was the funniest thing when I realized, I'm like, that's what that guy was smoking. Like years later, you know, it's actually a real good spot to eat. I used to eat here a lot. Coculas, Mexican food.
Good stuff, huh?
Very good stuff, yeah. Still come here from time to time. Now, there used to be a grocery store, so we used to have to walk, you know, whatever, like 3 blocks and a half or whatever it is from our house, and it was shorties, which is funny to me that like shorties, when I see shorties now walking around, I say, where the hell are their parents at, you know?
Right.
So we were them shorties that were walking around the whole neighborhood, just like, you know, getting groceries for our house or whatever, and like nothing, you know? But now it's actually not even, like I can't even think of that, you know? I can't see my kids, you know, walking into the corner store. I gotta drive them, you know what I mean?
Right.
So this used to be a high school, but when I went there, it was a magnet school, which is Maria Salcedo. But this is actually where I graduated from, which is John Squire School, which is directly across the street from Maria Salcedo. So we're really close to the Cook County Jail, which is on 26th and Cal. So we'll drive past there.
Not the Cook County Jail.
The Cook County Jail.
The county.
You never did any time in the Cook County Jail, have you, Caesar?
Fortunately, no. Fortunately enough, I haven't. No.
All right, that's a good deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Some of your buddies.
Now, what are these?
Yeah,
what are these complexes over here to the left?
These are the projects over here.
Project?
Yeah.
Let's ride through the projects. Bust a left.
Yeah, we'll go this way.
We're gonna come back around.
Yeah,
all right.
Show the little Cook County.
I mean, we told you people, we're gonna take you to Caesar's hood. We're gonna show you what's good with Caesar, how it all started. We taking you to the Cook County Jail. First break. I think regardless, every time you're still doing something, it's still, I think, you keep it fresh, it's always going to be your first break. You know what I mean? Like the first everything. You know what I mean? Even if you're still DJing for years, there's still a first time you're going to spend somewhere, and you know that evolves into something else. One project evolves to another project. So there's always a break, because then there's bigger and better things always, you know? Right.
Probably working at Quantum Distribution, which is old DJ International distributing company. Working there basically opened up doors for me to actually meet like Fast Eddie, Tyree Cooper, Cool Rock, Julian. That's where I actually first met Bad Boy Billy as well. I'm not sure if he really remembers. But then years later, when I actually came out with my own release on my own label, you had to do all the legwork. So then I was calling all the radio DJs, and one of them was Bill, and giving promos. And through that, I think our relationship kind of grew from there, because then he started liking what I was doing, and then he asked me for a project for his label, IHR, that he was relaunching, that he originally had, I guess, with Mike Hitman, and he was doing it on his own at this time. And then the next thing was actually Moody Recordings, which was a kind of a project of mine that I pretty much put together, because the IHR sound was kind of like one particular sound, a little bit more on the hard house kind of sound, and there was just so much more music that I can produce that I just didn't want to put just music like that out there. So I had a meeting with Michael, and which Michael Ryden was one of the president, I think of. I'm positive that was his title, president of Mixed Connection, which ran IHR and other labels, and Bill being the owner of the label as well. We had a meeting. We're talking about me wanting to develop this kind of other sound that I have in there, but I can't channel that through IHR. So I wanted to set up my own label. So the whole label's from the name, the look, and that whole thing was kind of my concept. And then before you know it, since they were funding it, they kind of like took over or whatever. And as along the way, they kind of changed a couple things. But nevertheless, that's where you got Paul Johnson's Get Down, and Kiko Costello. We had Colette on there. And speak about another break is like you got Eric Murillo, feeling this record that he got on promo. He calls Mixed Connection asking that kind of like stop the presses and can he license the record for the world. The crazy part is that I've never heard of no shit like that being done before, where somebody licenses the record that's about to come out domestically and license it to another domestic label. So it was just kind of nuts, but then we just kind of like talked about it and decided to do it between me, Michael, and Bill, and I think that was a good career move when it comes down to exploiting a particular record because they were doing really good stuff, Subliminal. Mm-hmm. And from there, we have other releases that I did with Subliminal, remixes, through Subliminal. So my relationship with Subliminal actually got a little stronger, and then before you know it, now I have my label that's distributed by Subliminal.
It's
and,
good look. Big up to Murillo and
Chuchu Romero, Jose Nunez, Richard F.
Choo-choo, tell them to keep your name out the press, man, and talk about you kidnapped and all that mess.
That's right.
Later on for that, Hey, we see you.
Right. Ibiza was wonderful, man. We went over there for like maybe I think it was like 4 or 5 years straight with Subliminal, and that's where I ran into you over there with Paul and who's over there, Junebug and shit.
Junebug,
Junior Sanchez.
We see you,
Roger.
Junebug.
Yeah, exactly. So it was love, going out there, especially coming from this area, or whatever. You just I've never dreamt of going anywhere else but here. It's just like That's all you thought it was, just here. Mm-hmm. But when one thing happens, you're like, man, this is crazy. Why am I going to, even if it's like to Ohio? Damn, I'm going to Ohio to go DJ, and then it just keeps growing and growing when you're going to different countries. Before you know, you got this visa passport. It's just this big because you have to add more papers to it or whatever. So that's kind of nuts. This is my high school right here, Benito Juarez, and that's kind of been our background for a little bit. Here you go. This is the front. This is our entrance or whatever it was when I used to come here. This is the gym over here. This is all this.
Did you play any sports in high school or anything?
Actually, no sports at all. No sports at all whatsoever.
Just music, huh?
Just music always.
You DJ'd at the school?
Yeah, actually I did. I got to DJ there twice. Homecoming and some other stuff. I forgot what it was. But yeah, I got to.
So you were real focused on your DJing more than anything?
Yeah, always, exactly. I always been DJing, and then the next thing when I started working at DJ International, that's when the music of actually producing it came about. Cause seeing like Cool Rock in the studio and him letting me like just come on, hang out. I was working. He's like, yeah, check
Were you still in high school then?
No, actually, I just dropped out.
Oh, okay.
I just dropped out.
That's right.
I moved over there. And by being in the studio with as Skip calls them, because they are is legends. When this music that I'm listening to on the radio is just like, wow, I'm like right there in the studio. You know what I mean? I'm like, these guys are producing it. He's asking me like Cool Rock. I remember my biggest memory with Cool Rock Steady was that he's working on a song called "You Ain't Nobody." The famous for, I guess, this thing, KRS-One. So he's doing this beat or whatever, so I'm downstairs, I'm listening, and he's like, what do you think? And he was actually asking me for my opinion because he's asking from the DJ point of view, because he knew that I was a DJ. Like, he was asking me what I play. So I was like, are you crazy? Hell yeah, I'm gonna play this. This is really good. So that's kind of a big inspiration to me actually producing. So as the years go by, you meet more people through different channels of whether it be record labels or working at record stores or other DJs or just producing music or just friends of friends. And then that's how I actually got to meet all of my peoples, is just through the networking of being at this club or that club, or he works there and he knows so and so, or this you're in the studio and so shows up. And so that's kind of how the whole thing works with the networking. So going kind of back to your question, Skip, I'm actually very honored to be part of this album for a lot of reasons. One, I guess because a lot of the people on the album, I love their music, and I grew up playing their music. And then when I started making music, I heard that they were playing my music. It's just like, wow, they're playing my music? That's crazy, Like, how do they know about me? And so it's just kind of like this whole thing is just surreal, as you're doing music, you want it to get out there, and then you got X amount of copies being sold, and you just wonder, like, who the hell is buying these records?
Right.
Like, they like this stuff. This is crazy. I'm obviously I like it because I'm doing it, and I'm happy with it. Otherwise, I wouldn't release stuff. And to know that other people are actually liking it just like that, it's just crazy to me. Even to this day, it still is. Whether people, you look at it, whether they're famous or basement DJs or wedding DJs, whatever you want to call them, to me it's all the same. The fact that people like it and support it is just one love, So yeah, being part of this particular album is great. I saw somebody else kind of put an album like this similar together for a whole different time in New York, and when I saw it like that, it was cool because it was more of a compilation of songs that were kind of out already, a couple of new songs and stuff. So it's totally different when it comes down to this particular project. This project comes from the ground up, is all brand new stuff. From what I understand, right? Everybody that got involved was asked to submit songs, and then those songs are being A&R by Steve and Skip, and those that get accepted then make it on the album. And for me to have a song that I submit and then it gets accepted, it's a good thing for me.
It's a hot joint, people. Listen, you own the album right now, so stop watching the DVD. Okay, I'm not gonna say that. Don't stop watching the DVD. You know what? Pause the DVD. That's what we're gonna say. Pause the DVD right now and go pop in Caesar's track and play Caesar's track, and then unpause the DVD and don't even listen to his words. Just watch his mouth move on the DVD.
Actually, this particular song came about with Alexander East. He's originally from New York, but he's residing in Minneapolis. I think he just moved from Minneapolis. But I met Alexander East through Mozzie, and anyways,
big ups to Mozzie. Get at us.
Exactly. Get at us, Mozzie. So Alexander East, basically what wound up happening is I started hearing his creativity through other records, and then his production when he actually came over the house. So then I just kind of found out that he was a great singer and a good songwriter. And when he came over, we're writing a whole different other song called Take Me Higher. So then that went really well. So when we were kind of wrapping that stuff up, I'm like, hey, since you're here, listen to this other track I kind of just started. And then he just starts singing this hook, and I recorded it. So the thing is that his voice was kind of like lost at this point. But so we just recorded it as a scratch vocal. And then Delano came by the house, and I was just kind of going through some music or whatever, and he's like, what song? And I show him that How I Feel, which is the one that Delano's featured on for this album. He was hearing it, and he was just like, man, you gotta let me sing this song, So I had to call Alexander East and ask him would he give him permission to write, when we finish writing the song, can Delano come and actually sing it? And he was very gracious enough to say yes, go ahead and have Delano sing it.
See, this not phony, people. You know how sometimes we could have went to Caesar's acres of land and went and checked them out, but we settled to just ride an Escalade with them. That's all, We could have went to the acres of land. We decided, no, we didn't want to do that. We wanted to bring you closer to who he is as a person. You know what I mean? I think a project like this, nobody has ever really got the opportunity to get to know Caesar. You know what I'm saying? To get to know who he is. Some people want to know, but they won't ask him. Either they hate us or they starstruck and just won't ask, you know, or just feel, oh, it's none of my business, so I won't ask. So here you go, people. You got any questions? Email Caesar at. Right.
But yeah, I think that's about it. I guess this is the end of this particular segment, but I guess we got more touring to do, right? And more filming to do in the tour.
Oh man, well,
and then we'll probably put that on the website though.
DJ's Gone Wild coming to a store near you soon. Now I can't tell you which DJs are going wild, but I will say DJ's Gone Wild.
Stay tuned, I guess. Right?